are going to do a standing leg swing exercise. So I want you to try and find something where you can hold on to, so you can use a chair, or perhaps you can use a pole, or you can even use a friend or a partner. So grab hold of that. We're going to stand on our left leg. We're going to get our balance before we start to slowly warm up our right leg. So we're going to just swing that forward and backwards, nice and gently, building up to a nice range of motion. We're going to do this 20 times before we swap over legs. We're going to do some side-to-side leg swings. So again, we're going to find something nice and stable to hold on to. You can use a chair here, as I'm using, or you can use a pole if you'd like to. We're just going to stand on our left leg, and we're going to gently swing our legs from side to side, building up slowly until we can get to our maximum range of motion. So we're going to do this 20 times on each side. We're going to do a standing quad stretch here. So I'm going to get you to stand nice and stable next to a chair or next to a pole. We're going to transfer our weight into our left leg. From here, we're going to pick up our right leg and hold it as close to our butt as we can. So I'm going to get you to try and make sure that that front hip is nice and pushed forward. I don't want you to try and push back through the hip, because we're going to try and stretch through this front part of the leg. If you fall out of it, that's okay. And from here, we're just going to try and stand up nice and tall, and we're just feeling that front stretch through that part of the leg. We're going to hold this here for 15 seconds before we transfer over to the other side. We're going to do some lunges and warm up our lower body. So I'm going to get you to place your hands on your hips for a little bit of balance. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to bring our right leg forward first. We're going to come down to a lunge. So you can come down this high. This high is a little bit more challenging. What I want you to see is a nice right angle in that front leg, but also in the back leg before you come back. So you can choose how far out you want to go. The further out, the harder it is. The closer, the easier. And we're going to do that 10 times on each leg for a total of 20 stretches. We're going to do a kneeling hip stretch. So I'm going to get you to come down. We're going to get into this one a little bit awkwardly. I'm on some concrete here, so you might want to use a bit of a towel or a jumper rolled up underneath your knee if it's a bit sore or a bit sensitive. And this one here, we're going to try and come forward. This front leg, I'm using my left leg to start with, should be at nice right angles. And this back leg here, what I'm trying to do is tilt my pelvis forward, not tip it back, but tilt it forward so that I feel a nice stretch here through my hip flexor. We're going to hold this here for 15 seconds on each leg. And if you're feeling a little bit more advanced, you can grab one arm and lean over for an extra deep stretch. All right, we're going to do some standing knee hugs here. So I'm going to get you to stand on your left leg. Get your balance before we come and bring our right knee. We're going to try and bring it in as nice and close to our chest as possible. We're standing up nice and tall. We're bringing that leg in. You might find that it gets a little bit easier the longer you hold it for. We're going to hold this here for 15 seconds before we change to the other side. And if you find that you fall out of it, that's okay. Come back into it and try again. We're going to do a nice and simple toe touch exercise. This one's to give a nice stretch through our hamstrings. So I want you to place your feet hip width apart. And we're just going to slowly come forward until we find that point of resistance. You might want to keep your hands on the floor. Otherwise, you can just hold your elbows. We're just going to let our head relax into it. We're going to hold this here for 15 seconds. You can bend your knees a little bit as well if you need to.